Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for March 8th through 13th. Wow. Here we are. Actually, it's through the 12th. Sorry. It's hard to know what the dates are. So here we have Venus coming into square with the nodes of the moon. Now, Venus is our deep inner wants, desires, needs, self-worth. And so the nodes of the moon in square and Venus in Pisces is bringing a lot of confusion. And really, it's taking us right back to how we felt during that Venus retrograde last year, started in later spring last year. And so Venus coming into the nodes is bringing up feelings of insecurity, the unknown. I don't know what I want. The sun just came into the square with the nodes. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I'm doing. This free fall feeling. This is because reality is shifting under our feet. And what we're being faced with right now with these intense transits of the last 3-4 months of feeling Neptune in square to the nodes, and now the sun and Venus visiting these energies. It's becoming more and more clear every day that we are in a psychological trap reality, which means that the only thing that matters is your vibrational reality, your spiritual purpose, what you need to do, or your grand mission here right now is to somehow, moment by moment, claim your vibrational highest reality timeline. Now it's really hard because Venus transits always bring up the deep depths of our feelings and our wounds and our insecurities, right? But this is pointing us to everything that's not really who we are, this identity crisis. And so let's drop it. Let's drop it. So in order to move into the new paradigm, new reality, we have to remake ourselves, redream ourselves. And this is where this astrology right now is hitting home. It's kind of like, oh yeah, well, that's weird stuff happening out there. And all of a sudden your reality is really weird because you are being pushed into making a choice. It's like part of this time that we're living in right now is that we are being asked to pick a lane and, be in one world or the other. It's like we've got some diverging timelines or some weird stuff going on. And so how are you going to make this commitment to this better you and to this better world? And it comes right back to the excruciating. See, it's almost like this Venus transits are bringing up all that Black Moon, Lilith, and Taurus energy because Venus rules Taurus. And, it's kind of like, okay, maybe I'll allow myself to dream into new possibilities, but not for me, maybe for everybody else. I don't really deserve that. That can't happen for me, right? And so this is where we're at. This is the crossroads of our reality right now. And our whole spiritual evolution is hinging on individuals right now choosing possibility. And in order to choose possibility, you got to choose worthiness. And you got to heal. We got to drop all of the stories of the bad nightmare. But you can't get rid of them unless they come up. So this is what we've been doing. And it's like, ooh, deep, vulnerable places. But so that's the energy of this week. But guess what? This weekend, Friday, we've got this Saturday, actually, the new moon in Pisces. The activation will be on Friday. And so Friday the 12th, the new moon on 13th, March 13th. And we've got also Mercury coming out of shadow. So the shift that we're looking for, the movement, the momentum that we want to see in events in our world and movement of energies and possibilities starts then. So this week is a preparation and just crazy how the planets line up for us again and again and tell us exactly what is going on and what we need to know. And, the weather report is changeable and vulnerable, right now, because Venus in the sun in Pisces is a mutable sign and square to the nodes, mutable signs. And so mutable signs are about adjusting. And when you're adjusting, when you're moving, when you're shifting, it's really hard to get a bearing on where you're coming from and where you're going to. And that's where we're being asked to completely rework. This intense Venus transits are always about reworking our core values, what really matters to us. And I'm going to tell you right now, what matters to you is one thing: peace and joy. And it's the only thing we came here for, is to usher in this golden age, to right the wrongs and bring the world into the light of the truth, of righteous truth again. And so the challenge right now is this moment to moment choosing, claiming your vibrational reality. Not that we don't want to suppress our feelings, as they're coming up, but we also want to be like, I'm not going to play the psychological games anymore of the lower matrix. Like, it's a constant distraction. The tentacles just don't pull you back in. And this is where the question that's coming for supernova souls, it's like, the only reason you're here on Earth and you made it through all this and you're still like awake, alive, and connected to your heart, you've already chosen the highest timeline. Your soul and your evolutionary position, where everything you've worked for many lifetimes and evolutions, has already chosen and is already prepared for this highest timeline. So what are you doing still down in the dumps? That's the question. Is that what you think you deserve? It's just what you're used to? Now, it's tricky because this whole lower matrix reality, the false technological controls, are all about bringing your mood down, all about bringing you back into the scary movie. And if that's the only thing we need to do, the only thing we need to worry about is to somehow moment to moment claim peace and joy. This is our natural state. And everything, for the matrix to succeed, and maybe we're having like dual reality, dual timelines, and we're going to split off, and people, like I said, choosing your lane, you already chose. So you're kind of, maybe feeling like you're doing the splits and stuck in between. But, we are here only for that. Fully prepared. You've already decided. So, who's in charge, right? This is where we need to be right now. It's like, who's in charge of how you feel? What are you going to do to honor yourself enough, to feel good enough to start to create more possibilities? We know this is a vibrational reality. We know this is a vibrational war. And all it takes, and we're really close, to enough people maintaining that vibrational frequency outside of the matrix, but they want you in the matrix. They want you, everybody, pulled down into the computer simulation. And the fact, this is why you feel so attacked right now, because you represent freedom. Every single person you come into contact with right now is a revolutionary act as you stand in your light and your truth. And you're a challenge. You existing is a challenge to the matrix. Now, this is interesting because this is a lot of the wounds of Chiron and Aries. It's like, is it okay? Do you deserve to exist and have life force? And this is the key too, right? Because when we say, wait a minute, who's in charge of my reality? I am. I'm a sovereign spiritual being with my own source right here within me. And I'm not going to play these games anymore. So this is a very interesting time of kind of like, in order to come to a healthier psychic place, we got to have that breakdown of the psyche. And that's kind of the energy of this week. It's like, ooh, we go to these places with the Venus transits of like, vulnerability, but then we jump back from the deep depths of it, because this is part of the trap of being a supernova soul. You've got this huge emotional range of ability of feelings. And this is why we're so sought after. Our soul is so sought after, and why we're being so observed and so manipulated by extraterrestrial alien, influences over thousands of years. Now it's time for us to claim back that power and use it to our advantage, because that means we can dream our way out of this. And it all comes down to this sovereignty. And so it's our time right now to go to those vulnerable places, to feel those feelings, but also be like, yeah, old movie, old story. I'm going to drop it all right here. And that means everything in your life that is still in that play of supporting that has to go too. This is part of the real deep, dark places we're going here right now, because so Venus and the sun are coming closer together, and it's such an epic. March is just, it's a beautiful and also really intense, but it's like the whole month of March, we're feeling Venus and the sun coming closer together. Venus catching up after that retrograde last year. And as they're doing this, they each take turns squaring the nodes. We've already had the sun do that. Now Venus is doing that this week. And then come up with Neptune. Now that's where we get the magic to reclaim the whole point of why we even bothered coming here. Why did you go through all you needed to go through? Squeeze yourself down into this lower dimensional reality. Why? For this joy, for this truth, our natural state, which is also in alignment with Christ consciousness. And we're having a massive rebirth of Christ consciousness as the sun and Venus come together and go over the Aries point. Now, it's interesting because this is like, oh, that's the feminine, like a rebirth of the feminine over the Aries point, like brand new, phoenix from the ashes. And maybe something to entertain is this picture of, we've been given a picture of a masculine, the Christed masculine. We kind of have an image of that. And through all the garbage and distortions of traditional religion, you can still get a grasp of that energy and hook into it. But we do not have a picture. It's been stolen from us and written out of history of the Christed feminine. And that's exactly the energy of Venus and the sun coming together. But just before Venus and the sun make their conjunction and go over into Aries, they both have this conjunction with Neptune. So the sun Neptune is on the 11th, this Thursday, and then Venus Neptune is on Monday, the 14th, early next week. And so with this new moon in Pisces, new moons are always about a new birth, a new start. And it's like, yeah, it's almost like we were trying so hard to get out of the Piscean age and out of the bad movie, but we were willing to look, it's almost like healing from that very traumatic, abusive relationship, right? And you're willing to let go. All of you walked away from all your possessions, you walked away from your sense of self, and but you had to do it in order to preserve. And this is kind of what we're doing, somehow we got to preserve. And the only thing left from this wash of surrender we're being asked to do right now in our personality and who we think we are and what we want, the only thing left is the only thing we really have, which is that love and peace and joy. Now, this is what's going on with these divergent timelines. The cray-cray timeline is getting darker and weirder. The lighter timeline that you're choosing, and you already chose, you don't have a choice, but you're doing the splits, is only going to get full of more love and light. That's what's in store for you. That's the only way forward, more love and light. So we got to just go ahead and complete this excavation of this week. The Venus transits coming on the heels of all of this intense square of Black Moon, Lilith, and Taurus, and excavating all the parts of ourselves that don't feel worthy of these new possibilities, completely remaking, especially our feminine side, even masculine, whether you're in a female or masculine body, we're dealing with the deep vulnerabilities of the feminine. and very much connected for the supernova soul to past lives where you've been persecuted, for being the light and the healing, trying to bring your light and healing, and then being called the devil. And this is our inside out world. And this is where we are. We're trapped in the nightmare of this inside out bullshit world. And it's all trying to unravel right here, right now. And are you going to step up and play your part and let yourself be happy? How do we do it? That's what this week is about. And so really, really powerful. But no, we have this shift coming up. Go ahead and do the work right now. Like, okay, yeah, I really am done. I really want to excavate these places. I really want to go into, like Brené Brown talks about the power in her research. The happiest people are the people who allow themselves to be the most vulnerable. That's a good mantra for this week. My vulnerability is my greatest strength, because that is what's holding all the false bullshit stories of who you thought you were and all you were playing out for everybody else, and coming back into the truth. What if, and within underneath that vulnerability is your light and love and your spiritual light. And maybe that's why we're going through all this breakdown, this ego breakdown, because it's like an attack, because you can't attack, you can attack the light, but that doesn't matter. It's not going to work. You can only attack an ego trying to be the light. The light itself cannot be attacked or damaged or on any level, So kind of, it's almost like, okay, step into the fires, and this is a very powerful transition from, the sun and Venus going from Pisces to Aries. It's the water to the fire. It's alchemy. And it's like, dissolve all that's false, go to those places of vulnerability, excavate your joy. This is what you're doing. You're going to the deepest depths so you can excavate your joy and claim that back and live in this place of new possibilities. We're here to dream the new dream. And you can never do that while you're investing your energy in the old bullshit nightmare, right? It's kind of time where we have to come face to face with ourselves here, our true selves, and be like, nobody's coming to save you. Gosh darn it. Ugh. And it's up to you. Nobody is going to come make sure you're happy. Nobody is going to come make sure that you got your needs met. We have a direct access to joy and light and spirit and love and that Christ consciousness. This is what gives us our power. This is what made us so scared of our power. This is why we separated from our power and didn't think we deserve it. Game over. And are you ready? Are you ready to go to those places and move through that dark into the light? Because it's so weird. It's almost like this week is like the crux of the weird. It's like it's like when that house of cards start to fall. Before that, you don't see that it's a movie. It's kind of like, there's some gaps in reality, but we'll just put it. This is what humanity's been doing. We'll just Band-Aid that up. It's okay. It's okay. Just keep going. Keep going. Put your blinders on. Get your vaccination. Everything will be fine. Right? So keep up the good work and know that we are at that place where the false reality is getting to that place where it cannot maintain itself anymore, and pull your energy back from that every moment. Say, wait a minute, somehow this trigger, that trigger, this person, the situation pulled me right back in to the pit of hell. And we're here to live in heaven on earth and choose it every single moment, because time doesn't even exist, and it's time to get out of these games, right? So we're open to new possibilities and to that higher timeline when we are willing to remake ourselves in that image. And right now we're in the excavation place, and it's getting painful, but just the next scoop of dirt is going to uncover this beautiful treasure that you didn't even know you had. And the world needs, and we want to celebrate you. We want to celebrate together. and it's time. Right here, right now, when we claim this moment. So let this strange, excruciating, uncomfortable time push you through to that rebirth. The astrology says, time for a rebirth. Are you taking it? We have heaven and hell. That's our only choice. So thanks again for being here. And I'm so excited to celebrate with you. And we can do that right here, right now. We know that time and space does not limit us. And that's part of this, the delusion of this movie. So it's so awesome when we can come together energetically on these updates, the activations. There's going to be an equinox soul group session, very powerful energy of rebirth, soul retrieval, timeline alignment for that equinox soul group session. That's going to be on the 19th, to the day before the equinox on the 20th. So look out for this stuff and hang in there. And so much love to you, Supernova Soul. We're here together. Don't forget, we're all going through it, and we're going to make it to the other side of the dream. And that means, so right now it's a challenge to claim this joy in the moment. But that is your work here, and it's only going to get easier, right? And I'm kind of seeing this thing about doing the splits that keeps coming up between these timelines. So maybe the deep, dark, excruciating, painful places we're going to has to do with the South Node Sagittarius getting activated, of where you feel like, excuse me, you may have failed on your mission and purpose, and leaving people behind. But it's okay. Everybody, this is a free will universe. Everybody's got to make their choice, And so stop being the garbage recycler and let the souls know that true human souls as birthright have a direct access to consciousness and God and source. And they have that. They will find it. It's not up to you. And this is coming up again. South Node Sag, don't stop playing God. It's not up to you. Let, the loving Father, the big-hearted, loving Father allows his children to go and have freedom to learn. And so we have to allow ourselves to have the freedom to live, right? I mean, supernova souls are getting impatient. Like, I'm not here to live in hell. I'm not going to fucking do it. I'm here to live. And right now, right here in this moment, you say, okay, there's all that dark movie black stuff that wants to pull me back in. That's not who I am. It doesn't define me. Here I am. You've worked so hard for so long to hold this that you don't even know you have in your heart. And it's so beautiful and so worthy, so valuable. Give it to yourself. Let yourself have it. And bless the world. So let's stay connected, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Hopefully I'll see you on that new moon activation on Friday. Pisces new moon, new start. Let's dream the dream. Step out of that nightmare, right? And then the equinox on the following Friday, the 19th, soul group session. That's where we go deeper into a group intuitive session for working on clearing past lives and contractual arrangements, soul retrieval, timeline alignment stuff. So I look forward to seeing you soon. We're doing it, and we're stepping over a threshold, and it's not going to stay like this, but use this to your advantage so you have that room for new possibilities and full throttle joy. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.